Hello, my name is Boatswain's Mate's First Class, Christopher Fay. This training is going to be about how to use OneNote for a routing system. So we're going to kind of build our first OneNote routing, and then we'll move on and show how that should look and how that should move around. So now there's a couple ways to do this. Um, and the first step is going to be, finding the location on where you want to save that OneNote file. So there's a few places to store that. There's SharePoint options, there's Teams options, and there's a share drive option. Since the Department of Defense is slowly moving away from having a shared drive because those drives are locally located and power failures prevent access to those and system hacks and things like that. So everything's going back down to a cloud-based system. So it's highly recommended that you either use your OneDrive, your Teams, or your SharePoint. Um, so for this example, we're going to go and use OneDrive for now. So in order to open up OneDrive, you can either search for it, or down here in the bottom right hand corner is a OneDrive logo. So you're going to go ahead and hit that and then go to open folder. That'll open up a whole new folder for you. We're going to go ahead and create a new folder for now for this demonstration, at least in theory. Now, mind you, I'm using what's called the Nautilus Virtual Desktop for this demonstration. So that way you guys can see how this is working. So for now, we're going to go ahead and create that new folder. I can't create in the option up there for some reason. We're going to go OneNote demo. All right. So I created a OneNote demo, and then hoping that I can get the folder to work. All right, there we go. So you can hit new, and occasionally OneNote will appear in here, but I'm not seeing it this time. So that means I'm going to have to go into OneNote. We're going to go ahead and right click on the app down here, and we'll go ahead and say OneNote. I'm going to go ahead and say add new notebook. And this is where it's going to give me that save location drive. So for now, we're going to go ahead and go into OneDrive, browse, and we're going to find that folder that we want to keep it in, the OneNote demo. We're going to open that, and then we're going to name this notebook demo. Um, at this point, you can invite people. Wherever you save it, it'll always ask you this. It doesn't really matter unless you're saving it on Teams, and then that's different. But for now, this is called the SharePoint, or kind of a share process. So if I wanted for other people to collaborate with me at this point, I would say invite people, and I would invite them by their Flink Speed email. But for now, for the demonstration purposes, we're going to say not now, and you can do this until you're ready and good to go. All right. So some vital pieces of information moving forward from here is the demonstration of what OneNote is and why we do things the way we are going to be doing it. So in order for you guys to understand the pieces of OneNote and what everything is, we're going to just kind of break it down a little bit and see what's going on. For some reason, there we go. All right. So this is called your notebooks. So this little menu here will have every notebook that you're synced with. So here I have the correspondence management. This is the one my unit actually uses and processes actual documents in. This is our demo, and you can have more notebooks too. As you can tell, if I go into more notebooks, you can see every notebook I'm attached to in some way, shape, or form, and I can have that synced to my OneNote. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. So those are your notebooks. Then you have what's called your sections. I'm going to create a section section group. So we have that, and we're going to call it archive for now. All right. So sections definitely are really good for navigating and creating different files. But the way to look at OneNote is think of OneNote as like a filing cabinet, right? Um, your OneNote notebook, the this little menu is your filing cabinets. And these new sections are considered your folders within the drawers. The section groups would be the drawers, and the sections will be the filing folders. And then inside each section is a page, and you can have a bunch of pages in here. So a lot of misunderstanding with these notebooks is that it's just primarily for notes, just taking notes and doing stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a correspondence administrative um, routing system within OneNote. And I'm going to show you how that looks and how that works. And so now that we kind of know that you have a notebook, and inside a notebook are section groups, and inside of section groups are sections. And I'm going to build you two forms of the OneNote, and you'll be able to walk away and build your own system as you want. So for this demonstration, we're going to call the sections, and we're going to go by encodes. So obviously every command has got a CO. So the CO is the final line authority. We're going to make sure that our CO also has an XO, and our XOs and COs have CMCs, and from there we're just going to leave that staff there. Now, some staffs do have chief of staffs and things like that, but for the demonstration purposes, we got our command triad, and that's the important piece. And each command has a department, and that is what we're going to fill in here. But for the sake of um, discussion, we're going to go with encodes, shore-based command structure. So for those of you that do not know what a encode is, we will discuss that in further trainings later on. So let's build this. In one, usually we'll have all the source code later. So we're going to go from N1 to N2, and then all the way through N9. So N2, N3, N4, N5, N6, N7, N8, and finally N9. All right. And you can have other departments like a career counselor. So if you have a command career counselor, awesome. There you go. And then let's say we have a section group for archive. That'll be all of where our archives go, and we'll have another section group for um, supporting documents or templates. Let's say templates. All right. So let's start off with N1. We're going to call this a template page, and this is what we're going to do. So every source of administrative document that we ever get is going to have the main thing that needs to be signed. You're going to have let's say that's a memo, and that memo is going to need supporting documents. So there's going to be references to instructions that support that memo. There's going to be justification for, let's say, if it's a personnel action. So we have unauthorized absence report, and that was done by mistake. So you're going to have a kind of a drafted letter from the department head or the LPO or SCL, whoever it might be, that is going to be justifying that unauthorized absence. Let's say I'm the LPO. I accidentally muster one of my sailors as UA, and just fat fingered it, and it goes through, and that sailor's marked UA in INSIPs. So now I need to get that overturned by my chain of command. So I need to have that memo, and I'm going to justify saying, hey, I'm an idiot, and I did that. But so that's what we're going to need. But also, there's going to be a cover sheet or a routing sheet, and that routing sheet will have the ability to make comments, have the date, and then kind of a way to signify that that person has seen that. And how do we do that in OneNote? Well, it's going to be just as easy as creating a table, and we're going to create a 4 by everything table here for now. And in here, we're going to call it the encode. Um, we'll have a date, um, initials, so somewhere for, or no, we'll say comments here, and then initials, right? So you don't have to have all this information, but this is typical. And then I'm going to call this, we'll say LPO, um, SEL, Senior Enlisted Leader, DH, and then we'll have N1, LPO, or we'll just stick with N1 for now because admin is different. And then we'll say CMC, XO, CO. All right. So that's about right. And then send that out just enough for that. And then comments. All right. I need to drop that down a little and then put something here. It says routing. We'll call this a staff summary sheet. That's what we'll call this, staff summary sheet, right? We'll make this 46. And, everything that we do in the Navy is Times New Roman. We'll put that bold, underlined, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And then we'll go ahead and paste that into there. Boom. There you have it. So now you have a staff summary sheet, and that's ready to go. All right. So let's recap what we've done in the last 12 minutes. We now know the anatomy of OneNote. We have established section tabs for all the departments and all of the people that will be signing documentation and correspondence. And now we have created a staff summary sheet. And why this is important, we're going to now create a template to run off. So we're going to go back up here. You have home and insert. Insert was where we got the table from. But now we want page templates. So you're going to go right here where it says page templates. You'll click on that. It'll open up a new window. This new window will go all the way down here where it says save current page as a template. I usually just call it template, correspondence template, or whatever you guys want to call. And here you're going to say set as default template for new pages in this current section, right? That's what we're going to do here, and we're going to say save. Now, if you go to my templates, you'll see that I only have one template for me. But let's say you want to look at other types of templates. There's other templates here too. Very easy to go through. But this is the template we're going to go off of, and that's going to be important because now every time I add a new page, it's going to add that template. See how that works? So we don't need all this. We can delete all these items. But now we've built a system. I'm going to go in and do that for all the page templates, and then we're just going to. So now that you've built that template, you're just going to go here where it says no default template for this section. We're just going to find that correspondence template, and that's it. That's all you're going to do. You're going to set that the same way every time. And you might have to sit down with all your administrative leaders to get that template in there. And this is part of the reason why we're going here for this template. So that way we can say correspondence routing. That's everything in here is going to be correspondence routing related. And guess what? My correspondence routing template is going to be here. I'm just going to add a new page and keep that there because staff summary template. All right, so that way, any new sailors that come into the command, or leadership that needs that extra bit, will have that template there. So, what does this mean and everything? But yeah. Anyway, for this 20-minute video, this first episode of OneNote and how it can be used in a correspondence routing process, this is pretty much what we are looking at here. And then in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to be focused on how to secure certain tabs and how to prevent other people from seeing those tabs if that's something you want. However, my suggestion is you want to keep it as clear and open as possible and only allow access to those department individuals that need to be in here in the first place. And those departments can have their own routing process, and I can show you more on how that works too. But for now, this episode is going to be primarily building, and we'll focus on the routing process next episode. All right, so let's say N1 really wants to lock things down so no one else can see what is being processed or anything. And so we're going to go ahead and password protect this section and this section only. So password protect this section. So how do we get there? You're going to hover over the tab. You're going to right click. That's a right click, and you got all these options. So for the second from the bottom, just above section color, is called password protect this section. Click that, a new window pops up and it says section N1 isn't password protected. That's fine because we can set a password. For demonstrations purposes, our password is going to be password because, well, it's a demonstration and we just want to demonstrate what's going on. You can put this as a PIN number or anything like that, and then you can say lock off. So if I lock it, awesome. That means no one else can get in here without the password. The password. See how it unlocks. And then I can even right click it again, password protection, this section, and then go here and lock it. Or I can say Control Alt L. Right, Control Alt L will lock it down. See? So now this is what everyone else without the password is ever going to see, and this will pop up for that. So now you've protected your section, and you're good to go. It's password. That's just all you can do to lock that down within this OneNote within these areas. And you want to do that if you're definitely having any issues keeping things secured. All right. Final recap. You now know the anatomy of OneNote. You know how to set up sections and section groups. And then the pages we'll get to when we get to routing correspondence. So for now, work on that. Work on how you want to structure this. I will create another video on how to go into a deeper detail, but this is a very shallow routing process within a small unit, and this is what that would look like. For the time being, if you want to see a deeper and more in-depth build, feel free to go into my other episodes. All right, for now, take care.